Cups over in the swamp over there in Ocala. And they're claiming they're number one. I'm going to go ahead and introduce one of their organizers over there, and he is number one on the length of the beard. Okay? Tyler LaClough.
Yay, Tyler!
Good morning, Daytona Beach.
Good morning.
Oh, you guys have forgotten already. Come on. Good morning, Daytona Beach.
Good
morning.
Hi,
guys. See, I don't have to tell Ocala twice. I don't know. It's so great to see everybody this morning. How is everybody?
Great.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see that the chapter is still cruising along and have a nice full room. Apologies for taking so long to make a physical appearance. But it's been a couple challenging years, I think, for everybody. So, but I'm really excited to have a day or two here in town, and I wanted to say hello to everybody. If you have an opportunity, if you have some time, love to catch up with those of you who know me. And if you don't know me, hello, my name is Tyler LaCombe. I am a recovering entrepreneur. It's been 3 years since my last startup, and I am one of the original One Man Cup fans and supporters for not only Daytona but throughout the state of Florida. If you have any questions about this process, this place, love to talk to you. If you have friends, families, or business partners in other communities that could benefit, I would also love to hear from you, because we're actually trying to make Florida the #1 in the entire nation right now. So we've got a new regional director. She's out of Tampa. So again, my name is Tyler LaCombe. You want to say hi? Right over there.
All right. Do you have any first timers here? All right. Well, welcome to Daytona Beach 1 Million Cups. So we're brought to you by the Kaufman Foundation all throughout the country. Even in Ocala, there are entrepreneurs sharing their story, and I'll be doing that here this morning.
They're new too.
Oh, welcome. Young guy over here on the left, and this young lady right here.
Youngest entrepreneur.
Yes. And Sean, who is one of our organizers from way back, he's here as well. So we've got some veterans in the room. We can't do it without the support of Volusia County Economic Development. So if you ever see someone from Volusia County, say, hey, thank you for allowing us to have free coffee.
Thank you.
Hey, there it is.
Free coffee.
Yes. And of course, we can't do it without a great venue. So we've got the Daytona Cinematique Checks running around here. It keeps the coffee hot, really hot, in this great venue for us. So you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions. We have an entrepreneur here today who's going to share her story. So don't be shy. We can't also do it without organizers, myself, Charles, Val, right behind the camera. We have Tom, will do question and answers. Jason, he handles all of our finances, and he's also security. And take things out for the busy day. So at any rate, I want to go ahead and welcome our speaker today from MotoSpa, LLC. Let's give a nice warm welcome to Ninja.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Morning.
As has been said, I'm Ninja McCoy, and I'm the director of MotoSpa. The concept of cleaning motorcycles started right here in Daytona in 2016 at Bike Week. I saw a need I could fill, and I combined my lifelong passion of riding, over 30 years strong, with my bachelor's degree in business, and MotoSpa was born. This is a sort of outdated observation. This is post, or I should say pre-plague, aka COVID. So a lot of the things that I did in research beforehand, before 2020, but I did some adjustments along the way. So this was the first machine. This was my first born generation, where it's an enclosed for motorcycles. It's in New York. I have a machine here in Florida as well. If I can get a video uploaded, I know you've probably all heard all the promotion over there. I'm trying to get the video of the machine that is located here in Daytona, but this is the one that is in New York. And it was the first one that I had in mind. I didn't know what I was doing, but I traveled all the way to India to get it, and it's here. So, yeah, that is it. That's it. picture of it. All right, so like I said, I established it in 2016. Originally, I was a hand wash. So I drive motorcycles, tried scooters, and I sold motorcycle accessories. The touchless and touchless wash and dry machine at that location. And the next goal was to basically start manufacturing these machines for franchise opportunities statewide. The problem that I was solving was the lack of car washes and gas stations that offer cleaning of motorcycles, trikes, and scooters, and self-serve washes that are time-consuming and expensive labor on motorcycles. So, like I said, I came up with a solution. MotoSpa is a portable touchless wash and dry machine that fits most size motorcycles, and it cleans them in 5 minutes or less. I'm not gonna go through this because this is not a pitch. So let's get that. The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And like I said earlier, this is partially done before COVID, before I knew what I know now. So the strengths are motorcycle populations in the top 4 states are key consumers. It's an available market to franchise these touchless and wash dry machines in the U.S. And Florida will begin the touchless motorcycle dry machine journey. My weaknesses, on the other hand, MotoSpa is a new phenomenon that riders have yet to understand. MotoSpa previous location was not enough foot traffic. So again, as I said, I had a location in New York, also in addition to my location in Daytona. And that one, as we probably all know, the weather is inclement there, it's seasonal riding, New York is not, and the industry was kind of declining, before lack of a better word. So I had to get rid of that location in New York. And the last will be most riders prefer hand washing out here, especially traditional bikini washes at Bike Week and Bike Tour. That's just tradition for bikers. We have any bikers here? Yeah. So the opportunity, the distribution of motorcycle washing machines will create sales jobs, create franchise capability. So that like I said, that's part of what I observed back in 2018 when I originally did this presentation. I don't know if it's still the same now today, but we'll see. And the next opportunity will be new and existing businesses can become investors and increase revenue without hiring extra labor. This still sustains. This still to this day still sustains. Lastly, motorcyclists will have ability to use MotoSpa machines that was built by bikers for bikers to get their rides conveniently and safely clean under 5 minutes. That says, anyhow, I'm certainly has something to do with the cleaning. And threats. This is to-date observation. Recession, inflation, and decline in motorcycle enthusiasts. So my target audience is gas station owners. Many gas stations have self-serve washes that motorcyclists may not use due to water pressure too powerful or no drying option available. The touchless wash and dry machine was designed with water pressure based on key points on motorcycles that need cleaning, and the drying is built into the system. Motorcycle dealerships. Majority of the dealerships that have service departments that are after motorcycles have been serviced and they need to be cleaned. Between the foot traffic and the normal clientele, that the purchase of touchless wash machines and return on investment will be easily to be achieved. Motorcycle racetracks. All kinds of motorcycle enthusiasts frequent these racetracks, whether motocross or sport bikes. The amount of potential buyers for touchless and wash dry machines will be endless. mobile and stationary auto wash and detailers. The mobile detailer businesses have increased during the years of 2016 to 2020, with purchase prices ranging from $30 and up for motorcycle detailing. The machine will contribute to an increase of revenue by providing less time spent with each client for these detailers. And last, the motorcycle enthusiast entrepreneur. Currently, MotoSpa 740 receive inquiries from my motorcyclists ready to become owners of the touchless / dry machines. This will create many opportunities to build franchises for the machines. Industry analysts. Automatic motorcycle machine industries have existing presence in the United States, and the states are Indianapolis, Texas, and Minnesota. So these are my competition. These are other manufacturers, but the majority of these manufacturing companies for the motorcycle washing units are in worldwide countries like India, Africa, Indonesia, China, and more. India is where I got my first generation motorcycle machine from, the one in the picture from the earlier slide. The absolute first motorcycle wash machine built is unknown, but the buzz began as early as 2007. So this information I know from doing my patent, because currently I own a patent pending design of the machine that I currently have in Daytona. So I found that out when I was doing my patent research. Owner of Express Bike Works in India are established millionaires since 2016, marketing their motorcycle, automatic motorcycle wash machines and service center online. Now, like I said, this plan that I did was done previously, so I'm not certain currently if that's still accurate, but I do know that when I did this plan, that was accurate information. Competitive analysts. Currently, the competitors are none, especially here in Daytona. Bike Spa manufacturer has been selling motorcycle wash dry machines in various states. One is operational in Orlando, Florida, I know personally, and one located at a car wash in Texas. The city, the exact city, not aware, but I can look into that. Crazy Eddie's purchased the automatic motorcycle wash machine, however, has declared bankruptcy as of 2018. And the owner of Hog Wash also has a washing unit in Minnesota where the weather is often inclement. That was my last one. Okay, so yes, that was actually the last one. All right, so I built this touchless automatic motorcycle wash system. I wear many hats in this company, and would like to create a team to grow MotoSpa to its full potential. So eventually, I can execute my exit strategy because it's been a decade. A fun decade, nonetheless, ups and downs. I've enjoyed the ride, but it has been a decade, and it is time for me to think of that. What I see from the community is I'm seeing persons that share my vision for the MotoSpa, and anybody that can look at what I built and see what it could and can become.
Linda, what a cool idea, especially being in Daytona where biking is such a common source of income and such a staple in the community. I'm surprised these things are out everywhere, to be honest. Especially with the increase in car washes, I mean, everyone should have one. So, you guys, It's okay.
No friend, yes.
It's all right.
Just trying to help her out. I know the girl, I know the problem.
That's all right. So we're gonna go ahead and get the Q&A started. Sean's gonna kick us off with a question here, and we'll go from there.
Ninja, thank you for your presentation. I want to ask, is it come in a trailer? Is the bike wash in a trailer? And then how do you, what do you do with the water that you're using and then the water you carry? Just kind of explain that to me.
Excellent question. What Dennis was just trying to bring to my attention was the video of the one that is here in Daytona. And I was trying to send it in time so you can get a visual. I can put a visual. I will still try to get it done, but I want you all to see a visual of what I'm talking about. The base of the machine has I'm gonna call the base of the machine has a catch for the wastewater. So it does not spill out into anywhere, and it also has a drain that you can drain and use a hose and put it to wherever you want it to go. So it just is collecting base where it doesn't actually spill out anywhere, because that was already thought of me by the, the protection, whoever the department, DEP department and things like that with wastewater, that was already built into this machine and thought of. And your first question was, is there a trailer? Yes, I can. This one that I have has the capability of fitting into a 6x12 trailer, enclosed or.
You just answered my question. Lori McMillan, your Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce. By the way, the City of Daytona Beach and the Daytona Regional Chamber put on Bike Week. And one of my bosses was one of the founders of Biketoberfest, the Convention and Visitors Bureau puts together. She helped create that. So your location, does it float around or is it permanent somewhere? It sounded like to me like you don't have a physical location of that right now, right?
Right, I did have a location. The foot traffic was not what I expected, so I had to switch locations. I prefer to have a stationary location for this just because I want Daytona to be the ground zero. It can go to other locations. As we all know, other cities have bike rallies. Tampa, Jacksonville, all of these places are in mind, but Daytona, I would like it to be the ground zero. So that's where I would probably need a team of either manufacturers who can build multiple, which like I said, I already own a blueprint, so they can make more and we can be in multiple locations all at once.
Thank you. There's a reason I asked that.
Yes.
To your left, Lori.
Paul Using, my main AI business consulting, great presentation, and really enjoyed that. So it sounds like you want to sell this as a franchise model, correct?
Somewhat, yeah. It depends on who I speak to. That's why I want a team. So I can get a team we can all brainstorm and see, is there still a demand for this? Is it still sustaining from what I built, what I talked about back in 2018?
So there are companies out there that work with individuals like you to develop into franchise organizations, making sure you have a process, the whole entire from soup to nuts. I think that's where you need to go, is to develop the processes that make this a successful business, and then maybe you can franchise it. And Daytona is a great place to start. If you can set up a system in Daytona and then get with a franchising company that will take you from start to finish, I think that's where you can start with developing it here, establishing your process, and then getting it franchise ready.
Yes.
Good morning, Tyler LeCompte. Very good presentation. Thank you so much for sharing. I love the idea. I love the idea that you can either have a physical location or be mobile with it. I agree that a franchise model is something you should consider as one of your streams, but you did an excellent job in terms of identifying the types of locations you could park one or two of these at to begin to grow market awareness. Because first and foremost, customers. Okay, if customers don't know that it's an option, that they can run in on a Thursday, and get a 5-minute wash and be ready for the weekend, et cetera, or you come by, et cetera. So all of the car washes that have recently been built means they're not being utilized at 100% at each location. They're dying. Somebody is. Somebody's gonna wanna jump on this, but, I agree with the ideas, but you mentioned something. You have patent pending, and you said blueprint. So can you speak on that a little bit further, in terms of what that is? Because that might be your real value right now. You might, franchise group might be a little early. It sounds to me like if you have a patent pending and a blueprint and a vague idea of where you want to go, what you need are partners, full-on investment partners with you to take this from here. Okay, but tell me about the patent pending and the blueprint, please.
So I created a system that was built by a biker who we understand the key components of where a motorcyclist will have objections of where the water's going to stream or hit and things like that. So I designed this machine to make certain that no one would have any objectives and just try to eliminate as many objectives as possible and make it eco-friendly and things of that nature. All of that where a biker will feel safe and they can use this as an alternative than washing and when they consume it. So the blueprint was designed that way strategically.
Yeah.
And that now that I own it, which like I said, I did the patent aspect of it because it differs from the previous patents that are on what is it, USTP or something like that. It differs from all of the previous ones that come before me and the ones that are currently in business.
Okay. And you're working with a patent attorney to process that right now? Okay.
Absolutely.
So obviously the value is there that it gives you some market protection when you launch. So that's going to be special for you in having the timing, but I think you've got all the opportunity in the world here to do something cool not only for yourself but multiple communities. So awesome. Keep on it, Ginger.
So I'm gonna run through, but one thing that I'm kind of confused on is, are we selling MotoSpa to the Etosa location, or are we gonna add one of these to every single car wash that's here? Because to me, that's where the strength is. Not to try to find new franchise, but to go to every single one of these car washes that are missing out on the opportunity to wash with MotoSpa. So to have one of these at every single car wash, to me, would just be like a hands down, no brainer to sell them a unit and move on to the next. That's my opinion. I would take that for
All right, good morning, I'm Dave, longtime motorcyclist, motocross, or whatever. Couple of questions, okay, on the patent. All right, we know the problem is the chain area. We all know that's the problem, at least that's in the motorcycle industry. So how did your patent not spray water on my chain, in my countershaft area, and my sprocket area? How does it not do that?
The nozzles are adjustable, so they can be shifted and moved around. I have nozzles, and that's why I would like to show you all the video. But I can show you better than I can tell you. As best as I can put it. But the nozzles are all adjustable. They can be moved, they can be closed. Whereas if I have a dirt bike versus a cruiser, and height and width, all of that things, it can be adjusted to each side of the bike.
Okay, so then it's not fully self-service. Somebody has to be there to make
Yes,
sure what
minimal-
nozzle is on and off.
A minimal labor, yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
so it has to be attended.
Yes,
by-
absolutely.
Okay, so cool. Next question. How much water per cycle? And how much water does the gray water hold? How much does that tank hold?
Wow, that's a good question also. I want to say I haven't done this question you're asking hasn't been asked to me in a long time. I have it written down because I have all my, like I said, I have all my blueprints and things like that. But if I had to say in just a guess, I would say it's 1 gallon per second. 1 gallon per second.
Coming up front.
Hi, David. My name's Neil. So this definitely seems like a Biketoberfest bike week business. So with that in mind, how is your business during those weeks, and what feedback do you get from riders during that time?
Okay, so I recently had like I said, I had a location which I found that was not really a good frontage exposure. So I was set up for bike week and it was not successful because, if I had to say why I don't think it was successful, is because number one, it's new, like I put in my presentation, it's a new phenomenon. I have to do a lot of explanation of what this is and why it works. Then as far as, like I said, foot traffic, people are focused on riding. They're not really focused on there's a certain time frame, there's a certain window of opportunity to get a wash for motorcyclists, and it's not during the riding aspect of when people are riding. They just want to enjoy the ride. So, like I said, there's a combination of things. The fact that there's no foot traffic there, and the fact that the people that were coming there were not really aware that it was there. So maybe there was less, I should have promoted more. I can go on and on about what I think went wrong, but like I said, I believe it needs more awareness.
When people look at your MotoSpa location, can they immediately tell that it's a place to wash your motorcycle? I would add some graphics or something to the outside that truck or what the actual thing is, that when people are riding by, they don't need to stop and figure out, oh, what is this deal? They can just look at it, assume what happens when we go in here, and then go forward from there.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Something else I was noticing, the bike itself, you had to sit on the kickstand when it's washed, or you had to go into something that holds the front tire to keep it vertical, so you have.
No, it has to be on the kickstand.
So, one thing, like you said, we went to Bike-Toberfest, and they did a lot. One thing that would be great, I just watched a video of it, is you can't see what's going on, but it's very visual. It's very visual if it wasn't enclosed, right? And we thought about doing it in a clear enclosure so people driving by can actually see the motorcycle being washed.
That's nice.
First of all, where did you find the video? Because I'm trying to get it on the
And
screen.
that's another thing, is that if it were me, I wouldn't mention those people from India, I wouldn't mention their name, because,
I didn't mention anyone's name.
yeah, you said the millionaires from India or something.
All right, that's my competitors.
Okay, I typed their name in the video came up.
Yeah, but I didn't mention them because of anything other than they're my competitors.
Right, but that's why you saw a video of something.
Right, that's not my mission.
Right, but it's something similar. But my, you can say, it's very visual, like Jason was saying, car washes. A good market could be to retrofit, like you see all these car washes where people have, the kind, not the kind where you drive through, but the kind where you have the wand and everything. Where you have the wand and everything, and you see like 5 bays. If you could come up with a machine that converts one of those bays to a motorcycle washer, people driving by can see, and a lot of the components are already there. It's already got the pressure washer, to feed into the system. I just thought that would be an idea. I think people being able to see the motorcycle being washed would be very advantageous as to just seeing a trailer do that.
Nice.
How you doing today? Thanks for the presentation. Very well done. So I made a presentation myself, and I talked about video networking. And I want to know how much you use video to promote what you're doing here. You, in a sense, started something new. It's a new product, a new movement that you're trying to start. And that's something that I think using video is a powerful tool to help move your movement forward.
Yes, there was a little bit of dysfunction with loading the video. If I can get it loaded by Madam Val, maybe I can get it on screen. But yeah, I'm trying to get it loaded. That was a part of the presentation. The video is very important because this is a visual thing. Most people want to see it in action. So yes, it's something that I have in my mind already.
I don't know if you saw my presentation, but it was 2 weeks ago, and video networking is something I'm trying to use to start a movement, to get people to use video to get their message out more strongly, more powerfully. And I just want to say, if we're going to do together, that would be fantastic too,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got another quick top idea. So, the world of AI, have you thought about updating to have some sort of AI sensors when somebody pulls their bike in and automatically scans the bike, so you don't have to have somebody manually adjust the nozzles and knows what kind of bike height, where the key points are, things of that nature?
Later down the line, yes. In this beginning stage of me being the manufacturer and building the machines myself, I just want a basic prototype is what I have right now in Daytona. And I just want to focus on the most key important points are to make sure that the bike is clean.
Yeah, great presentation, Ninja. Just a couple of quick questions for you. So I know in the beginning you said your eventual goal with this is obviously an exit. I don't know if you talked about this, apologize if you did, but costs per machine, and then what it would cost someone to go through that machine until you become profitable when you start thinking about valuations and all that stuff for your exit plan.
So no, I did not talk costs, but I wanted to say that for the private conversation, but since you asked, the costing normally ranges from, depending on the material and where it is purchased, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. So essentially, these machines would either have to be priced at $20K or $25, depending on features. The more features there are, the more it will cost. So I think the gentleman that asked me about some sort of wheel chuck, that is a design that I have also in my blueprint, which would cost a little more to get through.
Hi, I'm Pete Jones, Fractional Unit Marketing. Thanks for the presentation. I think I just looked at the video on your Instagram page.
Okay, yes.
MotoSpa.co.
Let's pull it up. Let me pull it up.
There is a video on.
There's a video on there that, I think it's that video that's on there. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Old one, yes, the old one. Then I have a new one also. Yes, on there. Can you put this in? Yes, sorry.
Okay, yeah, just a couple of things. So, a couple of observations. And I promise I come in peace. Whenever you're doing a presentation, don't read your slides. Everybody can read your slides, you talk about the slides. Because, someone like me, I'm speed reading ahead and then give me more information than is actually on your slides. The second thing is that I've actually got a client in Kentucky that's a car wash, and so I'm kind of in this space, and they also have a mobile detailing part, and they're all massive biking motorcycle enthusiasts. And I can say I'm very interested in this product, but not at this stage because of where you are. But they're in a small town with 30 car washes, and they're one of 3 only full-service car washes, and they're a family-owned business, and they're in a terribly competitive market. So as you were presenting, I'm thinking that. Are you listening?
Yes.
Good, okay.
I'm trying to help out.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want me to wait or?
Yes, if you can wait.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait.
Right there.
Just go follow her on Instagram, please.
Okay, apologies, sorry, go on.
Yeah, of course, no worries. So I've got a client in the car detailing business, and they've got a mobile part of their business, and they're in a highly competitive market. There's 30 competitors in their local town, most of them are franchises. So I'm going to be talking to them about this today when I speak to them. But notwithstanding that, I will connect with you afterwards. You mentioned in your presentation, you talked about the life before and after the pandemic. And I'm in the same situation where I had to reimagine what I was doing because of that. And you talked about old research and new research. Everybody's going to give you ideas, including me, about what you can do to tinker around to make it work. I would suggest that you go back and start again and do a business plan and do some market analysis. Because I can tell you this, I think from my personal, I own a motorcycle. I hate cleaning it, but I know people that they clean it because it's the love of their life. So I don't know whether or not how big the market is, but I know that there are millions of people that have motorcycles. What is your actual market? And your actual attainable market, not your addressable market. And then also when people are saying it's just bike week, I don't think it's just bike week. I think there's a bigger potential market for that. But not having a business plan, and in a good business plan, you would have a marketing plan as well. There's a great piece of software called liveplan.co or .com, which I've used in the past, and there's lots of business planning softwares. But when you presented it to me, I think you know you're a credible motorcyclist, but I don't feel when you're presenting it that you really know enough about the market for this product. And so instead of designing it here and talking about what you need to put in it, understand truly what your market is before you go to the stage of doing that, so that you don't end up going down dead-end streets with this. Because I actually think you've got something, but if you don't know the size and market and how you're going to enter that market, you might not succeed. Thanks.
That was an interesting take. What is your understanding of how that works in practice?
Which part?
Everything.
Do a business plan. So a lot of business plans will lead you along a process. Understand, the first thing whenever you're bringing something new to the market, whether it's a product or a service, is to understand there are three metrics. There's the total addressable market, there's your service addressable market, and then there's your service obtainable market. Most people start a business and they look at the total addressable market, so they say there's 20 million motorcyclists. What you're really trying to get to is the number of people that are going to buy your product and service. That is your service obtainable market. There might be 20 million motorcyclists. You might be only able to get to 100,000 of them. That's your business plan. That's where you've got to get there first. And then also, are you a business? Are you a B2C or are you a B2B? Is this a product? Is this a product that needs to sit inside existing car washes to add a service to make them more competitive in a market where they're competing with other car washes? Or is this something that you can deliver to somebody who goes mobile detailing, or is it somebody who sits in somebody's home? Or it's an event-based business? All of those things are important to understand before you design your product and your service. Does that help?
Oh, yes. And I appreciate your input. This is a presentation. This wasn't explained to me as a pitch. So all of those things will be saved for people who want to be a part of my team. And that is where that will come to play. All of those things have already been researched, but I got that covered. Appreciate you.
Any other questions? Anybody? So I do agree with Heath that that is something that we do need that you probably should identify. It wasn't identified well is this B2B? I think B2B is your business. I think business to business is where you're going to do very well in this business.
It's a bit of both. It's B2B and B2C.
Hi, Captain Danielle with World Famous Boat Tours. I agree with what Pete said about the business plan, but when you have the overall business plan and then you start going down, then you can kind of figure out your market. So we do boat tours, but there's a lot in group sales that we didn't know, and now that's a whole other market that we learned as we went down the table. But my main thing is have you reached out to all the different motorcycle groups that do fundraisers and things like that? If it's transportable, you could take it to their events. I do a lot with NEMA, for example, and they're located out in Deltona, and they do a lot of fundraising events and things like that, and it's veterans and PTSD and things. They do different events. You could bring it to their events, and that could help build the name and the awareness within the clubs of the motorcycle groups. And then as far as Bike Week and Biketoberfest go, Daytona Chamber and the CDB, there's lots of contacts that you could talk to within those organizations to try to get them to, I won't say back you, but to tell them what you're doing and bring awareness to what you have to offer and help them connect you with the right location or the right place for that. Between the Convention Visitor Bureau and Daytona Beach Regional Chamber, which She can speak on much better than
Lori.
me. Yes. Lori. She can speak on that much more than me, but both of those agencies, they have a lot to offer and a lot of connections. So that might be your footprint in to get in with local and the local businesses and make them aware of what you're doing. And it also give you connections to your other businesses as well.
That is wonderful. Thank you.
Any other questions? Comment in the back. So as I like to talk as I walk. So you mentioned that it is B2B and B2C. If you're focusing on both, do you find that you're cutting your own feet out underneath you? Because if somebody is a business and they want to bring your product on, but they also know that you're going to be competing with it with your own location, does that create conflict for you?
Can you reword that? I'm halfway understand what you're saying.
So if you're marketing, so say I own a car wash, right? And I own one of the car washes in London. I go, you know what? I want to add one of these because this is going to be a competitive advantage if I buy one from you. But if I also know that you're selling this to me, but you're also going to open your own shop to have one of these down the street, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
So now I get what you're saying. Thank you for reiterating. The reason why the approach is B2C is because this has to be a proof of concept in order for B2B to come. If B2B wants to look at this machine, the first thing they want to know is this going to make me money? Is this going to give me revenue? So I have to have a proof of concept. So that's where the B2C comes in. A lot of these manufacturers that I mentioned, and I mentioned them for a reason. I mentioned them because these people build these machines and they don't have any customers. They just build it because it's a cool concept, and that's what I get a lot of. This is cool. Yes, but can it make them money? So in order for that to happen, I've made sure strategically to design these machines so that they actually will clean a bike. So when a consumer comes up to them and they see this machine and they do recognize what it is, it will use it and say, wow, this really cleaned my motorcycle. I'll be back and I'm gonna do word of mouth and things like that. So now I can get this on video, as the gentleman over here had said. Do I have a lot of video? Yes, I do. Actually, I have feedback of consumers using this on a regular basis at this location. So when I do speak to B2B, they now see this machine as something that others are using. And yeah, this can make me money. So now we can talk numbers.
Nice.
Hi, John Howell, Chippendale, and yes, I am a motorcycle rider. But I don't have so much of a question, but more of an idea or direction of where you can go to approach and work on marketing. And that would be to go up the street to the Harley dealership and work out a deal with them where you can take your normal machine there, allow them the opportunity to try cleaning some of the motorcycles they take in on trade, marketing, working on getting a dealership, a motorcycle dealership, to use that as a way to mitigate the cost of their labor on detailing bikes that come in on trade, and then also having that available for people who bring their bikes in for service to get that added on. That would be a way to get your machine into the eye of the riders and into the eye of the dealerships and culture. Trying to go after getting inroads into Biketoberfest or Bike Week. Going directly that route is not going to be successful. You have to have something that's already in there, in the culture, to bring you in, and for them to say, this is cool and this is really great. You get the connections with the part of the dealerships, and when Bike Week comes around, or Biketoberfest comes around, they will be saying, we want this in our display for our demo rides, for people to come in and see. And that's my suggestion.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that suggestion. As I have mentioned, I have been the owner of MotoSpa since 2016, and I originally started it here in Daytona. So I have, and I hope the owner or any friends of the owner, no disrespect to the Harley dealer Davidson in Ormond Beach, but I have approached him and he declined the offer. So he said that it was because there's a conflict of interest, because he has detailers at his location already. So that approach has already been done.
It's not as a replacement of the detailers, as a tool to assist the detailers.
Yes, unfortunately, he didn't see it that way, so I have to try a different angle.
Then you approach the Honda dealership over in Deltona.
Thank you.
I think that goes back to that B2B, B2C, right? Because for the Harley Davidson people to bite on it, you have to remove your business from it. And it's just, here's a piece of equipment that can lower your labor costs down, speed up your process, but it's a one and done transaction. I'm selling you the product, and then it's your product to manage. I'm not the one bringing it in and charging for it. And that's probably where your conflict is. We have any other questions? You got one more?
Last one.
Uh-oh. She's fired up, ladies.
Hide your hand.
As far as the Convention Visitor Bureau goes, they hold meetings every 3 months. The sports committee meets at 3 p.m. tomorrow. It's open to the public, and any public participation gets to speak on what they have. So if you wanted to, you could go to that meeting, tell them who you are and what you have. You get like a couple of minutes, and they are interested in it, then you get business cards. And the sports committee has Daytona Speedway on it. They've got the dirt track, the Fortuna Stadium, plus the CBB is also the one that does the bike race. So it might be a good intro to go and check out. And then also the chamber has a after hours coming up on July 7th, right? July 7th, and that would also be good connections for a lot of those people as well. So I'm just saying, connections, I think, is where you're gonna get your key.
And this is why I wanted to do this presentation, so that I can get people to see what I see and share the vision with you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
All right, so we are getting close to time. So I've got 2 questions lined up, not coming from me because I've spoken up, but 2 final questions, and then that's going to be it for today.
Jonathan Hurston, Volusia County School teacher. Is there a plan for if the machine breaks down or needs adjustments? Do you have a plan in place that somebody can fix it, or is there a specific company to call or something like that?
Right, so that's a part of the, like I said, the team that I want to create. I want to create a team of people who have manufacturing in terms of engineering, mechanical engineers are on my radar, electric engineering, things like that are part of the team that I would like to build.
That person kind of addressed what I was gonna say a little bit, like the servicing of it. That could be like a whole nother business model when you get so many units out. And that could kind of be like the franchise that you actually start pushing where, you know, you license out the right for them to, you know, because you do have a blueprint, you do have the, you know, how it's made and where your parts come from, you have all that information and all those rights. So I just thought that would be something to say. Kind of like the freaking ice cream machines from McDonald's. Yep. Every time
Yeah.
you break
Yeah.
it,
They're not really
broken. Somebody.
You sell a machine that you keep the service.
Yeah, no.
They
Yeah, so just, you know, put a fail in where it just breaks every couple of weeks.
Don't listen to that.
I like all I do.
You can't admit you're going to break. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much, Linda. Thank you. What a great presentation. So, after every One Million Cup presentation, we always ask the same question. So I'm going to ask it to you as well. What can the 1 Million Cup community do for you?
I keep saying, I'm seeking persons that share the vision with me, who see what I see, and want to be a part of the journey to bring MotoSpa to its full potential.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. One more time. Now, for those of you who have been in attendance before, and this is your first time, it is that time.